My name is David and you are watching Underland 76.
Alright, so this video is going to be about COVID-19. Why? I don't know. It's on my list. Somebody suggested number 18, and number 18 on my list is COVID-19. So I'm going to do that. So let's see here. Bring it up again. So I'm going to search for COVID-19 and see what comes up. Oh wow, there's a bunch of stuff here. No evidence for immunity debt theories. COVID-19 affects different people in different ways. Most infected people will develop mild to moderate illness and recover without hospitalization. Most common symptoms: fever, cough, tiredness, loss of taste or smell. Less common symptoms: sore throat, headache, aches and pains, diarrhea, a rash on skin or discoloration of fingers or toes, red or irritated eyes. Here we go. COVID-19 Wikipedia. Here we go. This is cool. See, now, I told you in the vlog that I've changed things. One of the things that I've changed is this. I can pull it up on full screen now. Right, so here we go. Coronavirus disease 2019 is a contagious disease caused by a virus, the severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, SARS-CoV-2. The first known case was identified in Wuhan, China, in December 2019. The disease quickly spread worldwide, resulting in the COVID-19 pandemic. Symptoms of COVID-19 are variable, but often include fever, cough, headache, fatigue, breathing difficulties, loss of smell, and loss of taste. Symptoms may begin 1 to 14 days after exposure to the virus. At least a third of people who are infected do not develop noticeable symptoms. Of those people who develop symptoms noticeable enough to be classified or classed as patients, most, 81%, develop mild to moderate symptoms up to mild pneumonia, while 14% develop severe symptoms, dyspnea, hypoxia, or more than 50% lung involvement on imaging, and 5% develop critical symptoms, respiratory failure, shock, or multi-organ dysfunction. Older people are at higher risk of developing severe symptoms. Some people continue to experience a range of effects for months after recovery and damage to organs has been observed. Multi-year studies are underway to further investigate the long-term effects of the disease. COVID-19 transmits when people breathe air contaminated by droplets and small airborne particles containing the virus. The risk of breathing these is highest when people are in close proximity, but they can be inhaled over longer distances, particularly indoors. Transmission can also occur if splashed or sprayed with contaminated fluids in the eyes, nose, or mouth, and rarely via contaminated surfaces. People remain contagious for up to 20 days and can spread the virus even if they do not develop symptoms. COVID-19 testing methods to detect the virus's nucleic acid include real-time reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction. Wow, lots of big words in this. Yeah, there are a lot of big words in this. I don't know, man. I don't think I can get through all of this. But yeah, there's like tons of stuff. Signs and symptoms, cause, transmission, virology, SARS-CoV-2 variants. Let's get to the good stuff. Pregnancy response, diagnosis, viral testing, imaging, coding, pathology, prevention, vaccine, face masks and respiratory hygiene. Oh, there's a good one. The WHO, not the band, but the WHO, World Health Organization, and the US CDC recommend individuals wear non-medical face coverings in public settings where there is an increased risk of transmission and where social distancing measures are difficult to maintain. This recommendation is meant to reduce the spread of the disease by asymptomatic and pre-symptomatic individuals and is complementary to established preventative measures such as social distancing. Face coverings limit the volume and travel distance of expiratory droplets dispersed when talking, breathing, and coughing. A face covering without vents or holes will also filter out particles containing the virus from inhaled and exhaled air, reducing the chances of infection. However, if the mask includes an exhalation valve, a wearer that is infected and possibly asymptomatic may transmit the virus through the valve. Many countries and local jurisdictions encourage or mandate the use of face masks or cloth face coverings by members of the public to limit the spread of the virus. Masks are also strongly recommended for those who may have been infected and those taking care of someone who may have the disease. When not wearing a mask, the CDC recommends covering the mouth and nose with a tissue when coughing or sneezing, and recommends using the inside of the elbow if no tissue is available. Proper hand hygiene after any cough or sneeze is encouraged. Healthcare professionals interacting directly with people who have COVID-19 are advised to use respirators at least as protective as NIOSH certified N95 or equivalent. in addition to other personal protective equipment. Indoor ventilation and avoiding crowded indoor spaces, hand washing and hygiene, social distancing, surface cleaning. Hmm. Social distancing, also known as physical distancing, includes infection control actions intended to slow the spread of the disease by minimizing close contact between individuals. Methods include quarantines, travel restrictions, and the closing of schools, workplaces, stadiums, theaters, or shopping centers. Individuals may apply social distancing methods by staying at home, limiting travel, avoiding crowded areas, using no contact greetings, and physically distancing themselves from others. Many governments are mandating or recommending social distancing in regions affected by the outbreak. Outbreaks have occurred in prisons due to crowding and inability to enforce adequate social distancing. In the United States, the prisoner population is aging, and many of them are at high risk for poor outcomes from COVID-19 due to high rates of coexisting heart and lung disease and poor access to high quality health care. Wow. So, surface cleaning, self isolation, international travel related control measures. 2021 Cochrane Rapid Review found that based upon low certainty evidence, international travel related control measures such as restricting cross border travel may help to contain the spread of COVID 19. Additionally, symptom exposure based screening measures at borders may miss many positive cases. While test based border screening measures may be more effective, it could also miss many positive cases if only conducted upon arrival without follow up. The review concluded that a minimum 10-day quarantine may be beneficial in preventing the spread of COVID 19 and may be more effective if combined with an additional control measure like border screening. Treatment, prognosis, and risk factors. Genetic risk factors? Really? Genetics plays an important role in the ability to fight off COVID. For instance, those that do not produce detectable type 1 interferons or produce autoantibodies against these may get much sicker from COVID 19. Genetic screening is available to detect inferion effector genes. Some genetic variants are risk factors in specific populations. For instance, an allele, a variation of the same sequence of the DOC2 gene, dedicated of cytokinesis 2 gene, is a common risk factor in Asian populations, but much less common in Europe. The mutation leads to lower expression of DOC2, especially in younger patients with severe COVID. In fact, many other genes and genetic variants have been found that determine the outcome of SARS-CoV-2 infection. Wow. Children, complications, longer term effects, immunity, mortality. Wait, children? Yeah. Yeah. This is the one thing that's really gotten me. right? Because children haven't been treated the same as adults during this whole thing. And that's really getting to me because they're at more risk because of that. But let's see what this has to say about it. While very young, children have experienced lower rates of infection. Older children have a rate of infection that is similar to the population as a whole. Children are likely to have milder symptoms and are at lower risk of severe disease than adults. The CDC reports that in the US, roughly a third of hospitalized children were admitted to the ICU, while a European multinational study of hospitalized children from June 2020 found that about 8% of children admitted to a hospital needed intensive care. Four of the 582 children, 0.7%, in the European study died, but the actual mortality rate may be substantially lower since mild cases that did not seek medical help were not included in the study. Hmm, interesting. Hmm, yeah. And then there was that case with Jennifer Love Hewitt, who got her shots and boosters and all that stuff, but then she contracted COVID 19 from her children who were exposed to it at school. So, yeah, like you can still get it even if you got your shots and everything. So, I don't, this whole thing just doesn't make any sense because, yeah, the use of social distancing and the wearing of surgical masks and similar precautions against COVID 19 may have caused a drop in the spread of the common cold and the flu. Hmm, so there you go. That's crazy. But I am going to add that to the thing. Yeah? Um, sex differences. Really, COVID 19 case fatality rates are higher among men than women in most countries. However, in a few countries like India, Nepal, Vietnam, and Slovenia, the fatality cases are higher in women than men. Globally, men are more likely to be admitted to the ICU and more likely to die. One meta analysis found that globally men were more likely to get COVID 19 than women. There were approximately 55 men and 45 women per 100 infections. Hmm. The Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention reported the death rate was 2.8% for men and 1.7% for women. Later reviews in June 2020 indicated that there is no significant difference in susceptibility or in CFR between genders. One review acknowledges the different mortality rates in Chinese men, suggesting that it may be attributable to lifestyle choices such as smoking and drinking alcohol rather than genetic factors. Smoking, in which some countries like China is mainly a male activity, is a habit that contributes to increasing significantly the case fatality rates among men. Sex-based immunological differences, lesser prevalence, wow, I can't talk properly, so the teeth thing. Yeah. That and yeah. Blah, 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 where was I? Mm, wow. Habit that contributes to increasing significantly the case fatality rates among men, sex-based immunological differences, lesser prevalence of smoking in women, and men developing comorbid conditions such as hypertension at a younger age than women could have contributed to the higher mortality in men. In Europe, as of February 2020, 57% of the infected people were men and 72% of those died with COVID-19 were men. As of April 2020, the U.S. government is not tracking sex-related data of COVID-19 infections. Research has shown that viral illnesses like Ebola, HIV, influenza, and SARS affect men and women differently. And there's ethnic differences, history, misinformation. There we go. Let's pop over to the misinformation page and check that out. Here we go. False information, including international disinformation and conspiracy theories about the scale of the COVID-19 pandemic and the origin, prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of the disease has been spread through social media, text messaging, and mass media. False information has been propagated by celebrities, politicians, and other prominent public figures. Many countries have passed laws against fake news, and thousands of people have been arrested for spreading COVID-19 misinformation. The spread of COVID-19 misinformation by governments has also been significant. Commercial scams have claimed to offer at-home tests, supposed preventatives, and miracle cures. Several religious groups have claimed their faith will protect them from the virus. Without evidence, some people have claimed the virus is a bioweapon accidentally or deliberately leaked from a laboratory, a population control scheme, the result of a spy operation, or the side effect of 5G upgrades to cellular networks. That's a laugh. Oh man, all of this stuff, whether it's true or not, you know, people are going to say what they're going to say about stuff. I mean, it applies to almost everything, really. There's going to be a conspiracy theory against everything. Wonder what they'd have to say about me. Oh, he's not really sick. He's just faking it. Yeah, right. I wish. I am. I am very, very sick. You know, I'm losing weight. It's obvious that I'm losing weight. It's obvious that I'm losing my teeth. It's obvious that there's something wrong with me. You know, like I've been diagnosed with diabetes, but I'm losing weight. Diabetes is associated with obesity. So what is making me lose weight? Some people say I might have Crohn's disease. I might. I don't know. I have still haven't gotten the results from that MRI yet. So who knows what's wrong with me. Anyway, the World Health Organization declared an infodemic of incorrect information about the virus that poses risks to global health. While belief in conspiracy theories is not a new phenomenon, in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, this can lead to adverse health effects, cognitive biases such as jumping to conclusions and confirmation bias may be linked to the occurrence of conspiracy beliefs. In addition to health effects, harms resulting from the spread of misinformation and endorsement of conspiracy theories include increasing distrust of news organizations and medical authorities, as well as decisiveness and political fragmentation. Ooh, and this one's got a lot of stuff in here. So I'm going to add this to the description box, and you guys can read that if or when you have time. I think I'm going to read it later when I'm done this, just for something to read through. It's a lot of stuff there. But anyway, I'm going to go. I've been taking up too much of your time. Yeah, it's almost half an hour. I'm sure you have other things to do. So I'm going to go, and I will be back tomorrow with another topic video. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully that'll be good too. Plus, I'm going to go see my dietitian tomorrow. So hopefully I'll have some good news. And I'm going to ask her how I can gain weight and still keep my blood sugar low. That's the main concern right now as far as my health goes.